This is section 4.1, random sampling methods. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is a simple random sample, or SRS. You'll see it abbreviated. A simple random sample, just one example would be names being drawn from a hat, where everybody has an equal chance of being picked. It's not like, you've got more names in there one time, or everybody's name is in there once, you draw it, they got an equal chance of being picked. You can do strata. You could do by, like, for example, gender. You could do males and females, and to make sure that you randomly draw from a hat of males, randomly draw from a hat of females to make sure you have an even amount. And we're going to be talking about those things throughout this section. So the first thing we're going to start with is not an example from your book, just a different one. So example of doing mall hours. So the management company of a local mall plans to survey a random sample of 3 stores to determine the hours they would like to stay open during the holiday season. Use Table D at line 101 to select a simple random size of size 3 stores. So Table D is on page 216 in your book, or it's also located in the back of the book. Now, I'm going to switch over, show you the book real quick. So here's page 216. This is my teacher book, so it's going to look a little bit different. But here's Table D, and I know it's not completely clear, but you get the idea of where to look. And it's telling you to go to line 101 right here. Now, there's a much bigger table. This is just an excerpt from Table D. So if you were to flip all the way to the back, there are different tables. So here's Table A, Table B, and then Table D. Okay, so here's Table D right here, this whole thing. And all it is a line of random digits that you can use in various ways. And we're going to talk about how to actually apply this and use it. And we can specify, take line 117. You can take any line you want and use those table of random digits. So within this section, we're going to use the table for one example. And then we're going to use simple random sample from your calculator as well. So once again, here is the table that we're doing, and what I have done on notes is, see if I can show this at one time here. So what I have done, if you look, so here's line 101, and I just typed it all up all the way across. Okay, notice these are the same numbers. You've got 1, 9, 2, 2, 3, and then it goes to 9, 5, 0. I didn't put any spaces right here. I just did them all out at once. Okay, it's just a row of random numbers. They probably do it in the book like this because it's easier to read. So how to use this? What we're going to do is we've got 21 stores. We cannot use a 2-digit number larger than 21. So I'm going to take a second. What I'm going to do right here is I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to label all these stores. So I'm going alphabetical. So this is going to be store, that would be like Aeropostale will be store 1, and I'm going to label these all the way up to 21. Okay, so you can see I just went ahead and I labeled them, 1, go in alphabetical order 1 through 21. Now, it doesn't matter what, how you decide to give these numbers, but if, it's a free response question on your AP test, you just need to say, you need to put that sentence in there that you decide to go alphabetical, starting with 01 for the first, going alphabetically, labeled them numerically, 1 through 21. Okay, so we have 21 stores, so we cannot use a 2-digit number larger than 21. So we're doing 2-digit numbers because we've made all of these 2 digits. Okay, we're going to take the first 3 usable digits. Okay, so usable. So like we said, we have our labels 01, 02, and so on. If any 2-digit numbers repeated, we'll treat it like it's too big and we'll skip it. And we need 3 different stores. So usable means can't be bigger than 21 because we only have 21 stores. So for example, 19 is the first 2-digit number that we get to. We're looking at these numbers 2 at a time. So that's how I go from 19. The next 2 digits would make 22. The next 2 digits would make 39. The next 2 digits would make 50, and so on. Okay. So we do have a store 19. That is Star Jewelers. Okay, so we have one of our stores. We have 1 out of 3. 22 is too big. We don't have 22 stores. So we skip this number. We go on to 39. 39 is too big. 50 is too big. 34 is too big. Then we get to 05. So 05 is Carter's. So there's our second store. Then we get to 75, too big. 62 is too big. 87 is too big. And then we finally hit one that we can use. We hit 13. So it's just a random way of producing numbers, of picking things from a list. Okay. So we're looking at Carter's, Mrs. Fields, and Star Jewelers. So that's just a way to get your random samples. And then talking about the difference between, and I'll switch back here to my document so you can see a little bit better. So the difference between sampling with replacement and without replacement. So with replacement, the two events are independent. You're putting something back in, you can use it again, it doesn't affect the other one. Without replacement, the events are dependent, so meaning the choice for the first affects the odds of choosing a second. So first of all, the first one that you chose can no longer be chosen again, and second of all, you've made the sample size smaller because you've taken one away, which increases your odds. So if, let's see, so with replacement, you can repeat, for example, a 2-digit number, and that representation can be selected twice. And then if without replacement, you would just skip any 2-digit number that's repeated. So a couple of things to remember on your free response questions is that make sure you use labels. Use 0, 1, and not 1. So make sure they all have labels. You tell how you labeled, like for example, alphabetically. You went, in order alphabetically. And make sure you address what you would do with a repeated label. Either, treat it as if it's too big and skip it, or depending on the scenario, you would use it again. But in this case, we can't use it again. We want 3 different stores. So a repeated number is not going to do us any good. Okay. So I'm going to give you time right here. I'm going to stop the video. If you want to pause, make sure you got everything typed up or written down that you need to, and then we'll go on to the next video.